And it's been a seamless handoff. This program we have here, the Cancer Center and all its consummate parts, have been my dream and a shared dream. And to hand it off to a guy like Rod that I trust, that does it a different way but still has the same core values of progress in caring and curing, has been a spectacular thing for me. It didn't happen by accident. Rod's mom, Joan, lives in Longmont, and Rod and Susan were in Ithaca. And we would watch the weather. If it was shitty, gray, cold weather in February in Ithaca, we would call, if it was nice here, and just tell them blue sky, you know, 50 degrees, beautiful here. And so finally, after a couple of years actually it took us, we got Rod and Susan to move to Colorado. My fondest memories after 40 years as a veterinarian are going to remain the veterinary students, technicians, staff, interns, residents, fellows, referring veterinarians, clients, and the pets that we've been honored to serve. What a wonderful team we've had together. The meeting we had just the last 2 days, the Veterinary Society of Surgical Oncology, reminded me of a couple of things. In the old days, I always sat with Straw and Klein. I sat with them again at the meeting, but I found myself not taking notes. It was great. I just had to understand broad concepts, and that was all I needed. It was great science. It made me very proud to see my kids, and all my fellows and residents I fondly call my kids, to see that level of science get done. And then last night at the Tea Cozies deal, Sue was babysitting, and my daughter Kate went with me, and I realized, you know, she knew 30 of my fellows and residents, that this has really been a family gig from the beginning. You know, I mean, we've all been in this together. We all grew up together. It's amazing. So Kate was my surrogate wife last night, which Sue didn't mind at all. She had her 2 grandkids. So in preparation for going to this 40% appointment, I started to clean out my office. I gave the big temple to Paige, and I moved into the janitor's closet. And Jay the janitor takes care of me pretty good back here. Jay's only got 1 letter in his name. Jay, his parents are really poor and he grew up in Mexico, so they only gave him 1 letter. He won't tell me what the rest of his name is, but I go to Jay for sage advice when I need it. So as I was cleaning out the office, I got rid of all my scientific articles. I had files and files and files of adrenal and anal and perianal and everything. And so everything's online now. You don't need them. So I just chucked them in the recycle. Jay hauled them out. All the slides I had, they're going to go on the VSSO webpage. 99% will be thrown away because everything's online. I had huge files on how we built the building, how we got the NCRR grant, things Ed Gillette did before me, and on and on and on. And those I gave to Paige, Hardy, and Reed, so their desks are covered with these files, and it's their problem to sort through what's a keeper. Tell you what I kept. I kept notes from clients, notes from donors, and notes from friends at the Cancer Center that remind me of the compassion and passion that everybody's had about what we've done. That I kept. Linda and I have decided that over the years we're going to write a book, and that book will be You Can't Make This Shit Up. And one chapter is going to have Nan and her dad, Hadley, and one will be Sophie. I think Sophie left already, but that's at least 2 chapters that we can use. So as I've been reducing the junk in my office by necessity, I reflected the other day on what's left. You know, you throw all this stuff out. What'd you keep? Well, I kept a painting of Sky High Hope Camp that Krista Dickinson had commissioned for me by Bob Pearson, one of our veterinarians, a few years ago, which means a lot to me. It was already mentioned the painting that my son Palmer got from me from northern Minnesota after we'd canoed the Boundary Waters, and I really love this. It's a picture, it's a photograph of a guy in a canoe, black and white, and the snow's coming down, and he really isn't sure where he's going. And it gave me pause to reflect on what a wonderful opportunity I've had that I got to choose where my canoe went. And my son surprised me at Christmas with that. I got a watercolor of a black lab Bill Dehoff gave me that looks exactly like my dog Gus that we hunted with, Bob and I and Bill and Palmer and Sam and all the other guys that we've hunted with over the years. It means a lot to me to have Gus's picture there. I've got a cutout crayon poster of a of a little boy holding a dog on a leash, and a little boy made it for me 30 years ago. And at the bottom he says, he said, "Mr. Withrow works on dogs." And I helped him with his little dog. I got a picture of Dr. E. Hadley Stewart Jr. and his dog Carrie, who we fondly call in the Cancer Center St. Hadley. He made our program. We made it together, and he'd be proud of what we're doing. I got a picture by Tom Mangelson of a red barn in northern Minnesota after a fresh snowstorm, which to me imparts serenity. I haven't had a lot, but I'm looking forward to it with Sue. And then Sue gave me a Christmas present last year. It's a black and white poster with some writing on it that says, and she's describing me now, "Some people try to turn back their odometers, not me. I want people to know why I look this way. I've traveled a long way and some of the roads weren't paved." And finally, whoa, we're spilling water. It's okay. I have a napkin that was signed by General Norman Schwarzkopf. Bob and Bill and I believe we're all on a trip, fundraising trip. Believe it, in South Dakota, we raised $500,000 with Schwarzkopf with a bunch of oil guys. Ted Venters and Lori helped do that, Boswell. And I asked him what the tenets of leadership are that made him such a respected leader in the Army and a 4-star general. And he took my napkin and he got a felt pen. He wrote down 5 words: take charge, do what's right. And I think that's okay, but in the military maybe. But as somebody already said, I'd add 5 more words. Take charge, do what's right, with vision, integrity, and passion. And if you let that guide you, you can do a lot. That's 10 words. I was trying to think of an analogy of how this gig has come down, and it kind of reminds me of being a bus driver. That I've been privileged to have the steering wheel for a while, but I'm reminded of the need to stop and clear the windshield, fix some flats, change some passengers' diapers, navigate without a map or brakes, but always go forward. As I move into this transitional period, I really do look forward to spending time with my family and everybody here in a non-operating room setting. Sue and I practiced last week. We just did a practice run. How's this going to look like? Sue's a little worried. You get twice as much husband, half as much money. And so I had a new iPad, so I learned to unsubscribe to some emails. The same day I signed up for Medicare, and then I ordered a Cabela's fly rod to go to Mexico, where Sue loves to go, then had coffee outside in the beautiful sunshine in Old Town. And I really felt like I was playing hooky. I kind of looking around. This is really odd. Middle of the day, cup of coffee with my wife, relaxed. The page. I didn't even have a pager on. I was kind of listing to not have a pager on. And it's been mentioned by others, but I really do want to acknowledge my family that was able to get here. Mark caught me totally off guard, but Kathy, Bill, and Nancy came from Minnesota. My son Palmer and his wife Ashley and our soon-to-be grandson are sitting down here incubating. And Kate, Rick, and Zola, and I've got Colette up here. A special thanks has to go to my wife, Sue. We've been married 44 years. Sue has always been by my side, has been more integral in some ways than in dealing with people and my staff in here than I have. Sue was a teacher for 30 years. Special education, which gave her some skills in dealing with me. So she's Mrs. Withrow to that constituent. She's Sue to her sisters and friends, Mom to her children, Mamo to her grandkids. I'm Bobo, by the way, Sue's Mamo. And to me, she's dear. None of what we could have done in the Animal Cancer Center would have happened without Sue. Zola, you get Mamo to stand up. Get Mamo to stand up. I didn't make you speak. You got to stand up. All right. And in closing, I found another quote which I'll finish off with. It is that the skill in attending a party is knowing when to leave. It's my time to leave. I appreciate all of the support that you've provided. We did this as a team. You should all be proud of yourself. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of your day. Find a bathroom soon. And thank you for coming.